Have you ever felt like one day she's all sunshine and the next day she's a cold storm? 1 minute, she's calling you baby, holding your hand, laughing at your jokes like you're the only man in the world. And the next, boom, silence, distance, cold eyes, no texts. It hits you like a wall. You think, what just happened? Did I do something wrong? You try to fix it fast, right? You send sweet messages. You ask if everything's okay. You call, you wait, you overthink. You even blame yourself. But the more you try, the worse it gets. She doesn't answer the same way. She pulls back even more, and deep inside your chest, you feel that tight pain, that fear, that confusion. It's like she's there but not really there. Close, but not close. Loving, but then suddenly cold. And in your mind, it starts. Maybe I didn't say the right thing. Maybe I need to prove myself more. Maybe if I show her how much I care, she'll come back. But here's a secret that no one ever tells you. It's not about trying harder. It's not about chasing. It's not even about fixing anything. It's about seeing. Yes, just seeing. Not reacting, not guessing, not fighting, just watching. Because women speak with patterns, not just words. And when a woman is unsure, when she's not fully invested, or when she's only halfway in, her patterns will tell you everything. But you have to stop reacting. You have to stop panicking every time she changes. You have to stop begging the storm to become sunshine. That's where most men fail. They react instead of observe. They chase instead of sit still. They try to win her instead of see her clearly. But you're different. You're learning to be stoic, calm, wise. You're learning that silence is stronger than shouting, that distance is more powerful than desperate words. So next time she switches up, next time she goes from warm to cold, don't chase, don't ask why, just watch, just see, and trust what you see. Because patterns never lie. And the man who sees the pattern, he stops wasting time. He keeps his peace. He keeps his power. He doesn't fall for words. He watches the weather. And when it keeps changing too much, he knows it's time to walk. What if her silence is saying everything? Let me ask you something real. What if her silence isn't empty? What if her quiet is louder than her words? Think about it. When a girl is excited, she talks, she laughs, she shares, she sends long messages, she calls just to hear your voice. But when she's unsure, when she's losing interest, when she's playing it safe while keeping you around, she does something tricky. She goes quiet, not completely gone, just barely there. She'll reply but slow. She'll answer but dry. She won't say, "I miss you." She won't ask, "How was your day?" And yet, she doesn't disappear fully. She stays just close enough so you don't walk away, but far enough so you never feel safe. That's when most men get trapped. They start thinking, maybe she's just busy. Maybe she's tired. Maybe I should just wait a little longer. But guess what? Silence is never just silence. It's a signal. It's a test. She's watching how you react to less. She's checking if you'll beg for more. She's seeing if you lose yourself when she gives you less attention. And when you do, she loses respect. Not because you're a bad guy, but because you showed her that her silence controls you. That's where the Stoic man stands apart. He doesn't panic when she goes quiet. He doesn't fall apart. He doesn't beg for noise. He becomes still. He becomes strong. He becomes silent too. Because a man who stays calm in her silence is a man who makes her wonder, a man who makes her respect him again, a man who shows her, your silence won't move me. I've got a life to live. And deep down that shakes her. Why? Because when she can no longer control you with silence, she realizes you're not like the others. So the next time she fades, don't chase, don't explain, don't beg, just lean back. Let the quiet speak. Let her feel what life is like when you stop trying to fill the silence. She'll notice, oh, she'll feel it. And the real question becomes, will she come closer? Or finally show her true face? The trap of fast feelings and the power of holding back. Here's a question that might shock you. Why does she lose interest right after you show how much you care? Crazy, right? You finally open up. You send that sweet message. You plan something special, and instead of being happy, she starts acting weird, colder, distant, less excited. You sit there thinking, wait, I thought this would bring us closer. But instead, she pulls away. Here's what's really happening. Most guys rush. They rush to give. Rush to prove, rush to lock it in. They show all their feelings before she's even earned them. They treat her like a queen before she's ever shown she deserves the crown. And that's the trap. You think fast feelings build love, but fast feelings scare people. They create pressure. They make her feel like she's responsible for your happiness. And guess what? She doesn't want that job. Women want you. Not feel chased by you. Not feel pressured by you. Not feel like you're waiting on her to complete your world. So the Stoic man does something different. He doesn't rush. He observes. He sees how she shows up. Before giving his all, he lets time reveal her truth. He stays calm when things feel exciting, and even calmer when they feel confusing. Because he knows real love isn't built in fast moments. It grows slowly through time, space, and truth. So when she pulls back after you open up, don't panic. Observe. Let her energy show you who she is. Don't send 3 messages in a row. Don't ask her if she's mad. Don't try to fix something that's not yours to fix. Just stop. Breathe. Watch. You'll be surprised how many patterns appear when you just stop reacting. And when you can sit still in the storm, she starts wondering if she's the one who might lose you. What happens when you don't chase her back? Here's a question that flips the whole game. What if her silence isn't a test but an answer? Most men get scared when a woman stops texting, or when she replies late, or when she says she's busy. They panic, they chase, they try to make her feel something again. But here's the truth most never hear. Sometimes she's not testing you. She's just showing you where you stand. And when you ignore that truth and keep giving, you only lower your value. Let's break it down. The world teaches men, if she pulls away, chase her. If she acts cold, warm her up. If she's not sure, prove yourself. But Stoic wisdom says the opposite. If she pulls away, stay still. If she's cold, protect your fire. If she's unsure, let her figure it out without your help. Because when you don't chase, something powerful happens. She has to feel the space. She has to ask herself real questions. Why isn't he chasing me? Why is he so calm? Did I lose someone rare? See, women feel your energy more than your words. And if your energy says, I'm not afraid to walk, that's when she finally starts to feel what she might lose. It's not about punishing her. It's not about playing games. It's about staying rooted in your worth. You don't chase, you attract. By how deeply you stay calm, by how well you control your emotions, by how powerfully you protect your peace. And that makes her stop and think. Because silence from a calm man is louder than 1,000 texts. So now, here's your challenge. Can you sit in the quiet and let her feel your absence? The power of saying less and watching more. Have you ever felt like you had to keep talking to keep her interested? Like if you don't say enough, she might lose interest. Or worse, move on? Here's the truth no one tells you. The more you say, the less she hears. But when you say less and just observe, she starts to wonder. Most men try to explain everything. How they feel, what they want, why they're good enough. But in doing all that, they miss something powerful. The silent man sees everything. When you stop reacting to her every mood, you start seeing her patterns. Not just what she says, but what she does. Not just when she's sweet, but when she's distant. You start noticing the late replies, the excuses, the change in tone. And guess what? She notices you noticing. You're no longer the guy begging to be seen. You're the man who is already watching. You become a mystery. Not because you're fake, but because you're focused. You don't argue. You don't explain. You observe. And that calm silence, it makes her more curious than any paragraph ever could. She starts thinking, why isn't he trying so hard? What does he know? Why do I feel nervous now? It flips the whole game. Because now you're the one in control. Not by force, but by peace. And here's the real kicker. When you observe more and react less, you protect your energy. You don't get pulled into her storms. You don't get drained. You stay grounded in your power. So now, Ask yourself, can you stay silent long enough to see what's real? She'll show you everything if you stay still enough to see it. Have you ever sat real still and just watched how people move? Like in a room full of noise, the person who says nothing actually sees the most. Well, the same is true with her. The moment you stop chasing her energy, the moment you stop reacting to every little thing, that's the moment she starts revealing everything. But most men miss it. Why? Because they're too busy trying to fix things, trying to say the right words, trying to guess what she wants. And in that guessing game, they go blind. But you're different. You're the man who knows how to sit in silence. You don't panic when she pulls back. You don't rush to fix what doesn't feel right. You don't argue to prove your worth. Instead, you watch. You notice how she texts less when things don't go her way. You notice how her mood changes after she sees your wins. You see how she's all in one day, cold the next. You catch the tone, the delay, the shift. And instead of reacting, you store it. Like a calm lion in the tall grass. You don't pounce. You wait. And guess what happens? She starts feeling seen. Not through your words, but through your silence. She starts asking, why isn't he chasing anymore? Did he notice how I changed? Is he watching me pull away and choosing not to say a thing? Yes, he is, because you are. That's the power of Stoic awareness. You don't fight to be chosen. You observe who actually chooses you. And if they don't, you walk calm, clear, free. Because you never needed a label to know your worth. The man who slows down sees what others run past. Have you ever seen people run so fast they miss the signs on the road? That's what most guys do in relationships. They move too quick. They want answers fast. They want, where is this going? They want labels, plans, control. Now. But here's what they don't get. When you rush, you lose vision. When you slow down, you gain power. There's a secret, one that most men will never learn. A man who slows down sees everything. He's not busy begging. He's not in a rush to be loved. He's not chasing attention like a dog looking for a treat. He knows that when you slow your steps, people show their real faces. When you're calm, she shows you who she really is. Not the version you hoped for. Not the dream in your head, but the truth in her actions. She says she wants a deep connection, but only calls when she's bored. She says she cares, but disappears when things don't go her way. She flirts, but never builds. Most men, they don't catch it. They move too fast. They fall too soon. But not you. You move like water. Soft, slow, strong. You don't demand attention. You attract respect. You don't rush love. You observe patterns. Because you know something wise. If someone wants you, you won't have to chase them. They'll move toward you with clarity, with energy, with real care. So what do? You stay grounded. You keep living your life. You go to the gym, build your skills, chase your purpose. And if she's not matching your energy, you don't yell, you don't beg, you don't prove. You just slow down even more. And in that silence, the truth screams. Her words are loud, but her actions whisper the truth. Have you ever been in a room where someone's talking loud, but you still don't trust them? That's because real truth doesn't shout, it whispers. And in love, that whisper comes from her actions. A lot of guys get confused. She says she loves you, but keeps you unsure. She texts sweet things, but never makes time for you. She calls you important, but treats you like a choice. And you wonder, what's real? What do I believe? Here's your answer, brother. Always believe the action, never the noise. The action is calm. It doesn't beg for attention. It just is. She can say you're the one. But if she's always pulling away, showing up late, ignoring your needs, her mouth is telling one story, but her actions, they're writing a whole different book. Now here's the power move. You don't argue. You don't explain. You don't fight to be heard. You just watch. You sit in silence, with clear eyes. You become the mountain, not the storm. Because a real man doesn't need to guess. He doesn't get stuck in maybe or mixed signals. He reads the truth in what she does, not what she says. And when you master that, you walk away from confusion with peace. You stop trying to make her see your worth. You know your worth, and you follow the actions, not the noise. So here's the question now. Are you ready to see clearly, even when the world tries to blind you with pretty words? When you're not easy to predict, you become impossible to replace. Ever wonder why some men get forgotten and others stay in a woman's mind for years? It's not looks. It's not money. It's not fancy words. It's mystery. See, when you're too easy to read, too fast to reply, too always there and always giving, you become a pattern, and patterns get boring. But when a man chooses peace over proving, when he watches instead of reacts, when he's not always available, she can't guess what's next. And that makes you powerful. Not in a fake way, not as a game, but because your life isn't based on her approval. It's based on your purpose. You're not glued to your phone waiting for a message. You're not rushing to fix every cold moment. You're not chasing crumbs just to feel chosen. You move with calm. You move with reason. You move like a man who has something to do. Something real. Something bigger than a mood swing. And guess what? That unpredictability, that steady stillness, it makes her curious. It makes her think. It makes her respect you, even miss you. Because now, you're not reacting. You're leading, quietly, confidently, without force. And in that space, you become unforgettable. So now I'll ask you this. Are you done being easy to replace? And ready to be the man she can't figure out but can't forget either? Let's take it all the way. The final stage is waiting, and it's the final key to your power. Her patterns don't lie, but your peace must come first. Have you ever felt like you're losing your mind just trying to figure her out? Like one day she's warm, and the next day she's cold? One moment she texts first, the next she disappears? That confusion, it eats at you, right? It makes you question what you did wrong. It makes you chase answers that don't exist. But here's something no one tells you. You don't need to solve her patterns. You just need to see them. And then you decide what you allow. This is what Stoic men do. They observe, not obsess. They watch, not worry. They let the truth show itself, without begging, without pushing, without fear. Because here's the truth. If she's hot one day and cold the next, if she only gives attention when she feels like it, if her words don't match her actions, that's not mixed signals. That's clear behavior. And if you have to keep guessing where you stand, you're already standing in the wrong place. So stop explaining your worth. Stop chasing peace in someone else's chaos. Stop reacting to confusion as if it's love. You don't need to fight for clarity. You just need to protect your peace. Because a man who guards his peace becomes the man she can't disturb. And that silence you hold, that calm in your chest, it speaks louder than any long message ever could. Now ask yourself, are you finally ready to stop reacting and start living with purpose, peace, and power? If so, your Stoic journey doesn't end here. It's only just beginning. Stay silent, stay steady, stay rare. She'll notice. And more importantly, you'll feel free.